This week, Gate 24 comes from the island of Mallorca. Now, did you know that over 2 million Britons come here every single year? But how many of them realise that when they come back here next year, their pesetas will be useless? Personal injury is big business. Last year, the accident group made more than £3 million in profit. But the competition is growing fast, and they're doing anything and everything they can to stay ahead of the game. Joining me is Robert Lloyd, one of the world's leading bases, who will be sharing his expert opinion with us and selecting his highlights from last night's concert. Well, welcome back to St David's Hall, where we are currently awaiting the jury's announcement. With me is Elaine Padmore, Director of Opera at the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden. Elaine, a fantastic evening. What have you made of it so far? Now remember that if you'd like any further information on the competition, you can log on to the website at www.bbc.co.uk/Cardiff Singer, and join me tomorrow at 7:30 for the highlights of the second round of the competition, when the internationally renowned tenor Robert Teare will be sharing his opinions with us. Until then, bye-bye. Well, let's go back to our top story now, and the inquiry into the Hinduja passport affair. Our political editor Andrew Marr joins me from Downing Street. Andrew, Peter Mandelson cleared of lying here, but there are still a lot of unanswered questions. In fact, some of the newspapers tomorrow seem to be describing this as a bit of a whitewash. Well, a few moments ago, President Bush, who's currently in Mexico, explained why he'd ordered the strike.
Since 1991, our country has been enforcing what's called a no-fly zone. A routine mission was conducted to enforce the no-fly zone.
Well, I'm joined now from the Ministry of Defence by our political correspondent John Andrew. John, I don't know if you could hear what President Bush was saying there. That's their version of events. What's being said here in this country?
Much the same thing. This was obviously a joint operation, carefully planned. In fact, Jeff Hoon was in discussions with the Americans earlier this week.
We heard earlier in the evening General Sir John Akehurst, a military man, saying that this was a complete PR blunder, that Saddam Hussein, this would be of benefit to him PR-wise, but as far as this country is concerned, a complete PR blunder. The Isle of Wight has become a hotbed for several pyramid investment money-making schemes, drawing in thousands of islanders. These schemes have drawn in people to such an extent that one week NatWest Bank had so many withdrawals of £3,000, it was worried its branches would run out of money. This week, Gate 24 comes from Brighton, one of Britain's top seaside resorts, and somewhere which, despite the foot and mouth crisis, has managed to hold its own this year. In fact, Brighton says it's never been busier. We'll find out why in just a moment. But first, our travel expert Peter Nunn is here. Peter, we all know about the devastating effect the foot and mouth has had on the countryside and on tourism, but what sort of effect has it had on places like Brighton here? It's pretty extreme, isn't
obviously
it?
Doesn't work at the Savoy.
I've not seen anyone with a beard like that.
There's a thing called a beard liberation front as well. They live and learn, don't
Well,
they?
you're halfway there. You've got a moustache. Have you ever gone the whole hog?
I once had a beard, but when I was about 18, and I shaved it off after a girl said, "Michael, the trouble is with your beard, it looks like pubic hair."
Right,
So
let's move on swiftly then.
came.
Let's move on swiftly on that note.